in a press, and they run different types of coverages out of it. They'll trap, they'll double team, they'll play a little bit soft, and they'll fall back into zone. Sometimes they'll fall back into man. So, for us, just we got to get into our stuff, and we can't let it affect our pace. And that's what they do such a good job of, is getting you out of your flow and getting you out of your rhythm. And whatever it is, man or zone, we have to have great movement, both ball movement and body movement, to try to keep them off balance as they get back into their set. And it is unique. It's very unique, and it is something that has really slowed a lot of teams down. And they do a great job with it. Kevin's doing a phenomenal job. They're playing I think, their best basketball of the season right now. That game at Purdue certainly could have gone either way. And then 2 great wins at home over Michigan and Wisconsin, beating them almost by 20, which is obviously very hard to do. So it's a team that's hitting on all cylinders right now. We're going to have to go down there, take care of the basketball much better than we have lately. They've got great length. We have to finish off possessions with a rebound. Those are 2 areas we've really struggled. And when we've lost, we've gotten pounded on the boards, and that's been a pretty common theme for us. So it's going to be important to go down there, play with good physicality, and hopefully finish off possessions.
With the uncharacteristic turnovers you talked about with Sam and Derek especially, was that something that Northwestern was causing, or were they maybe?
Yeah, they cause some of them. There's no doubt about it. But a lot of those were unforced, and when you have unforced turnovers, those generally lead to runouts. They're pick six type plays that really get the other team going and give them confidence. When you can get layups in transition, that makes everything a lot easier as an offensive player. Just again, the carelessness of the unforced turn, those are the ones that really bother you. And we've got 2 guys we feel really good about with Derek and with Sam. When the ball's in their hands, we play through those guys a ton, and we trust that they will make the right play as we move on. But Northwestern, that's they're as good as anybody in forcing turnovers, and that's exactly what happened, forcing us into 16, and they converted a lot of those into points.
Besides making shots, what did you see from Jamarcus in his first start that you think can carry forward?
Yeah, the thing I loved about Jamarcus the other night is just he had no fear in that role, excuse me, as a starter. And, coming off a game where he was very disappointed in himself, especially with the free throws at Penn State, to be able to put that one behind him and bounce back with a great effort and knocking down shots was a great sign. And he's a really tough kid. I think physically, mentally, you see that for a guy that's in his first year in college, to go out there and be able to put a disappointing one behind you and be one of the better players on the floor for us is a great sign for Jamarcus and his future. And I'm really excited about him. He does so many things. He can play with the ball in his hands. He can play off ball. He's shown that the reason we really loved Jamarcus, a lot of things about him, but his ability to make shots was at the top of that list. So, it's good to see him take the lid off, hit 4 threes in that game. That's not easy to do as a freshman, especially when we were struggling, some of our main guys.
Sam talked a lot about mentally, you guys weren't having it Monday night right off the bat. How do you kind of keep their heads right with all that, especially heading into game?
Yeah, I mean, watch a lot of film. We had a couple really productive meetings, I thought, the last few days. And, just where we are right now with our bodies, we're not doing a ton of live work. We just can't afford it. Jamarcus sprained his ankle the day before the Penn State game and was questionable all the way up until the tip. And, with where we are with our bodies, it's a lot of mental reps. It's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of film. We are getting some, especially against with this prep against Maryland, because of their defenses that we haven't seen in a long time. So, we'll get some live, but there's a lot of mental preparation that goes along with that. Now you have to carry, the physicality that you're not getting in practice. You got to find a way to flip that switch in the game when the lights turn on. And, if we lose a guy in practice, that's not going to be good for where we are just with our body count right now. And just, again, in this league, it's so important to get off to good starts. Penn State, we get outscored 10-0 out of the chute. We lose the game by 11, and we missed a ton of free throws in that game. You find a way to get off to a good start, maybe we're in it and have a chance, at least at the end of the game. And that's what it's all about, hopefully getting off to a good start and then sustaining that for the full 40 minutes.
Did your son surprise you?
I don't think he surprised me. I'm proud of him for the way he went out there. Anytime you get your first significant minutes, there's generally a lot of nerves. I remember my first minutes in the playoff series against the Bulls. I threw the ball right to Scottie Pippen, and it's just one of those things where you have to go out there and so the thing about Sam, he works, and he's always in here getting extra shots. He's confident. He's a confident kid. They get that from their mother, and he just went out there and played hard and did a lot of really good things for us, including rebounding. He led us in rebounding, and he, a couple of those shots, they went in and out, and I just thought he made a really good impact. And you look at his plus minus, I think he was a plus 11 on the game, and Denham was the only other guy that was a plus. He was a plus 1. So yeah, he made a positive impact on the game, and that's what it's all about as a reserve player. When you get your name called, is to go out and make a positive impact on the floor.
It's human nature for fathers to be maybe a little tougher on their sons. Has that been your experience so far with him in practice? Like, you find yourself, maybe being a little bit more specific or detailed with him just because he's your kid?
I think so, yeah. He turned it over one day, and I made him run, and Derek came over and said, "That was funny, Coach, that you made Sam do that." So, but yeah, I mean, you are. I mean, just I guess it's human nature, to be a little bit harder on your kid. But I listen. I try to treat everybody the same, regardless of who it is, and Sam's no different in that.
Did you have the opportunity to just appreciate that moment where Sam's out there playing significant Big Ten games? I mean, or are you just still caught up?
Not really. I mean, we were caught up in it, and obviously we hit some adversity in that game, and just try to find a way to get us out of it. I thought the run we made was great. We did a lot of good things in that run where we were down. I think it was down 5 or 7, and we turned it around and took a 5-point lead. And Sam was part of that, and our young guys were part of that. I think it was Wilhelm and Casey and Denham and Jamarcus were the other guys on the floor. So to see those young guys get the thing turned around, I had a couple of starters at the scorers table as that run was going on. And then the job of the starter is to take that momentum that you get and then build on it and hopefully extend the lead. And unfortunately, it didn't happen the other night. But, those young guys showed a lot of grit. They showed a lot of character. They showed a lot of toughness. And they're going to continue to get opportunity just based on where we are with our roster right now.
When there's 4 guys in double figures, obviously Jameer Young kind of leads the way there. What kind of job do they present on the other side?
Yeah, they're really talented. I've been so impressed with Young and his ability to get into the paint. He's a tremendous finisher at the rim, and he scores a bulk of his points in the paint. And that's where it starts. We have to do a good job. He's very good at rejecting ball screens and getting to the rim. He's jet quick, and he does a great job getting those other guys involved. They've got good experience with their other players. Reese has really taken his game to the next level as well. Great touch in the paint. And, all those guys that come back from a year ago, you can see it. The chemistry is really, I think, starting to click with that group. They had one little stretch where they struggled, but they've really gotten themselves out of that. And that's a credit to Kevin and his staff for getting those guys all on the same page. And, listen, the roster, you look at it with their size, it's pretty darn impressive. But their ability, to play together and score it in a variety of ways makes them very difficult to guard.
Weren't you having to reconfigure things on defense and get a little more creative with the defense?
Yeah, I mean, I think you saw some of that in the second half the other day when we switched up defenses. I thought that got Northwestern a little bit out of the rhythm that they were in, even though they had a couple open looks out of it. But we're going to continue to have to add to our defensive package. Our staple will continue to be man-to-man, but, we're going to have to throw some other defenses out there to try to keep teams off balance.
How do you guys handle these next 5 days? Practice access, facilities and whatnot?
Yeah, so we'll fly to Champaign right after the game tomorrow. Should get in probably 9 or 10 o'clock, and then we'll have a later practice in Illinois' practice facility on Sunday, and then we'll get a chance to practice on Monday morning. Get a chance to bond a little bit. We'll go out to dinner as a team on Monday evening, and just take this time really to spend quality time together. It's important at this time of year. We'll have team meals. We'll have the guys over to our house at times. We went out about a week and a half ago as a team, so this just gives you a chance to bond. And sometimes when you're hitting adversity like we have right now with our roster, the opportunity to get quality time where you're almost forced to spend time together is important. And hopefully this trip gives us that opportunity. It's going to be 2 incredibly difficult games. We know that. 2 tough matchups for us. Just got to go out and play hard and compete and hopefully have a chance.
A few times on Wednesday, I saw Emmanuel still talking to Marcus during timeouts in his ear. Is he still being a pretty big vocal presence?
He's been awesome. He was great in the locker room after the game. He talked to the guys for a long time, and just talked about how much he's going to miss it, and don't take anything for granted. Go out and leave it all on the floor. And he's should be getting discharged here soon. Sounds like everything went great with his surgery. We got a good lift. Jawan came in at the end of practice today. He looks really good. I think he's still a little loopy with what he's on, but it was good to see Jawan. He and his mom were able to come in after practice today, so that gave our guys a lift to see him in good spirits. And everything sounds like it went great with his surgery as well, and now it's all about getting them on the road to recovery and doing everything we can to help them. And I know they're still going to be there for us and still be able to lead, even though they're not going to be on the floor. All right, thanks, guys.